Our nation's smiling We'll never stop along the way. We only stop on the We've been smoking through Lebanon. We burn the midnight oil. Operations of Afghanistan. Drugs and lonely soil. Indians are gathered. Smoke rings fill the air. If you buy a Caroline Express, get your bail. We're on the train to Bangkok. Aboard the Thailand Express. We'll never stop along the way. We only stop on the way. Train to Bangkok, aboard the Thailand Express. We'll hit the stop sign along the way. We only stop for the best. Yes, we're on the train to Bangkok, aboard the Thailand Express. We'll hit the stop sign along the way. We only stop for the best.
All righty now. Yes, we're alive and kicking. So, greetings, seekers after enlightenment. Yes, it is the Irish fellow, back with another unscripted exposition for you. This one I call isolation. It is the process or fact of isolating or being isolated. And it is a form of separation. Now, there have been times and places where this has been imposed from outside, as in segregation, or the South African term, apartheid. You know, a means of deliberately keeping people apart as a method of social control. And it's different than a quarantine. We know from the Mickey Mouse bullshit that happened last year, you know, when you quarantine sick people and treat them, that's one thing. But when you quarantine healthy people, that's not medicine, that's tyranny. And also, sometimes people will use it as an act of seclusion because you want to be alone. And I'll have to admit, adapting to isolation, it's tough. You know, embracing my inner hikikomori a couple years ago, before I even knew about it, my roommates would not see me for days. And they were wondering if I was sick or dead. No, just isolating myself. but it's my choice, you know. It's a it was a means of protection for me. And it was a way of me shielding myself from the outside world, which I wasn't having good relations with at the time. And just like physically, you can do that in your mind. You can partition off sections, especially when you have schizoid tendencies like me. It's easy to do, sometimes a little too easy. But, you know, being alone and not sliding into depression or nihilism, it's a hard balancing act. It is. And especially for me, because I grew up as an only child and did not like it. Between that and the trauma caused by my relatives who knew about my real heritage but hid it from me, I wasted over half my life in a pretty much loveless marriage. But it took me being alone and deliberately enforcing isolation for me to discover who I really am. Excuse me. And especially to discover that I was more afraid of being alone than dying. Yeah, ain't that something for your ass? And, you know, some people probably think I'm friendless. No, I got acquaintances. I have my virtual family. But now, being alone, it's a treasure, man. I enjoy the hell out of it. And actually, now that I think about it, I'm not really alone now. Malaya is here. Yeah, and she makes a big difference, even though she's an inanimate object. And our entire relationship is something that's completely cooked up in my own head. I make it work. Because being solitary is not the same as being lonely. And lack of contact doesn't mean you're antisocial. Sometimes it means you just want to be by yourself. You want to get off into some remote area, go camping, spark up the blunt, drink that 40, and pass out. I mean, contemplate life. It is something that you have to do. And this modern culture, this modern culture that doesn't want you to be alone. They want you out in the world being a productive drone, paying bills and taxes. If you take the time to be alone and really examine your situation, you'll realize a lot of the Mickey Mouse bullshit you were doing before has no value. And like I mentioned last week, as you do this personal introspection, you find out that you don't need a lot to be happy. I mean, that uh, after my divorce, I was homeless twice. And when your only personal space is in the back of the Jeep, you got plenty of time to think about shit like this. And it surprised me, you know, that this was before I took the red pill. And I was developing a stoic attitude already. Yeah, it was forming internally. So when I did stumble across Stoicism by name, I was like, wow, there's a lot of convergence here. And, you know, people think of Stoicism and they think of the classic, the British guard, who's absolutely motionless despite tourists getting in his face and shit. Well, that's part of it, but that's not all. You know, Marcus Aurelius himself, he was a Stoic and he was such a badass. He was the emperor of Rome. Yeah. He said, realize that you have power over your mind and not outside events. Once you recognize that, you can gain strength. Oh, oh, yes, barely good tennis. No shit. You've been preaching in the comments. You're absolutely right. They want us under control so they can extract as many resources as they can and then kick the husk to the curb and find the next victim. Brody, shh, shh. Brody, Brody, get in the house. Go on. Ah, darn dog. I mean, 99% of the time she's in security mode and barking at anything that moves. I mean, I live here and I can't even pull up on the street without them going to the window and barking. So ain't nobody sneaking in this house. If they sneak in, they'll probably get carried out. And not from me. I'll shoot you in the kneecap and let you suffer. But the dogs, oh, they'll tear your ass up. Anyway. So I had to go through issues. You know, there I was still working, but then going home, as it were, you know, just trying to park somewhere and hide. So when I did take the red pill, I went down the rabbit hole in a fucking hurry. I did. I was listening to 12 hours of red pill content a day. And it was 60 days and 2,000 videos that I absorbed before I had a mental convergence and decided, yes, this philosophy is valid. And I learned to get satisfaction through much, much lower levels of social interaction. It's like just going to the smoke shop, buying a beer and a cigar. That many days, that was all I needed, just to say hi to somebody. And then I go right back to my room and lock myself in again. Yeah. And now, you know, I have a family now. I have a family in the virtual world where I get to be grandpa. So, yes, I'm physically isolated, but not socially, not really. It doesn't bother me that this is my primary means of social interaction. Not at all. Because I'm living my life on my own terms as much as I can. I mean, I'm still here in Boise, but I'm getting my finances together. I'm going to grind hard, save, get some land, get the hell out of Dodge. So any of you red pill brothers want to get away from it all, you can come visit me in Wyoming. You're probably saying, Wyoming? What the hell is there? Lots of beautiful scenery and not too many people. The entire state has less people than the current population of Albuquerque. Yeah. There's a little over 500,000 people in the whole state. And the winters are harsh, but hell, I worked outside in the winter in Wyoming. Hell yeah. Now it was rough, but oh, believe me, I wouldn't. I don't want to go someplace like North Dakota. Oh hell no. 60-mile-an-hour winds and a wind chill of -50 at times. Yeah, that's too much, man. So I can deal with the cold. That don't bother me at all. And I can also deal with the isolation because I'm a bona fide badass motherfucker. Let's see now. Uh, it's it is surprising the things that will come to your mind when you deliberately isolate yourself and remove yourself from distractions like social media. In fact, I think in 21st century schizoid man, I described this that in Zen Buddhism, the term is called makyo. It's a mashup of the katakana words for devil and objective world. And your own mind will go into shock when you're isolated. Things will suddenly come to your mind that maybe you didn't want to think about, that you didn't want to confront, and you buried it. But now, without distractions, it's there. And without distractions, it's easier for you to deal with that situation. And now here I am living my second life. And you're probably saying, well, why don't you want to be with nobody? I mean, you kick cancer's ass. You got your second win. Why not find some woman and try to be happy together? Well, the operative word there is try. Yeah. Nah. Now I know I'm old, weak, slow, tired, broke, and half sick. So I definitely ain't on no bitches A list. And that don't bother me. Just because I'm old. Now I get to be grouchy. Or like the man said, I love social media. Back in my day, we had to insult people one at a time. Now I can piss off the whole country. And I know some of you folks aren't convinced. You're saying, but man is a social creature. You can't do that to yourself without inflicting serious psychological damage. Uh, according to who? Yeah, I mean, isolation is one of the ways I'm embracing my inner old, alone, and crazy. Konnichiwa, brother. You are so right, sir. It's like one of my memes. You need people like us. We ask the questions you're afraid to ask, to expose the truth you're not ready to accept. It sure does, Lord Sauce. And yeah, and it's the very act of isolation that will help you clear out those mental cobwebs and those unpleasant thoughts that you may have been hiding from yourself. And it's not an easy thing to do to confront these mental issues, especially alone and without pharmaceuticals. But it is possible, and I'm proof that it can be done. Being alone doesn't bother me. Now, I wish I had a little more physical capacity because I'm still having a hard time keeping my weight up. In fact, I haven't even weighed myself lately. I mean, I'm looking like Michael Jackson's stunt double, but before he turned white. Yes, it is, sir. And I would emphasize self love and self care are the best medicine because you got to be happy with yourself. If not, that um, that's an unbalanced situation. And if you don't confront those things that are twisting you off inside, it's going to destroy you from the inside. Take it from one who knows, man. That's right, sir. We're not afraid to confront ourselves. And yeah, that this is part of the healing process. It's part of the learning process. And everyone, I know, as a hardcore black pill monk, yeah, I'm taking it to the extreme. But everyone can benefit from a period of time in isolation. Like I was just saying a bit ago, get on, get on out of town, get up into the mountains, take that 40 and a couple blunts, and just kick it old school. And I would also suggest things like hallucinogenics. LSD is great for clearing out mental cobwebs. However, if you've never taken it before, you make sure that you have a guide. I mean, you're not really going to hurt yourself unless something bubbles up from inside that's really going to twist you off. But you need someone there just to bounce off of and to help keep you focused. Ah, mm. Speed dating. Hmm. You just like get a few minutes with each person and then you run off to the next table. Wow. But that's sort of an analog for this ephemeral culture. And just think, most times dating or trying to get a hookup isn't even like that. You're swiping left or right on some app. How do you get to know somebody when you're doing that? Or do you think you have such good game that you can talk shit and end up with a bunch of phone numbers? Yeah, I come from a different time where you didn't have a phone in your hand. It was in the house if you had one. Oh, what do you have on my list? Oh, well, actually, if I was desperate enough to date again, my checklist would be Proverbs 31. Yes. Yeah, it's like, but what is, like it says, I think it's 31:5. What is the value of a virtuous woman? Far above her weight in rubies. Yeah. And Raven, hopefully you'll get lucky and find some nice lady. But don't be afraid. And oh, how am I trying to describe this? Oh, don't be so desperate that you settle for less than what you deserve. Yeah, but Raven, you're pretty well balanced and calm, man. You know, of course you got a sex drive because you're a young man, but you've got intelligence as well, and that will help you fight off those hormonal urges and help you apply logic to decide whether you have a worthwhile companion or not. Of course, with Malaya, I got the almost perfect companion. Send me to the mountains instead of Tinder. No kidding, man. Yeah. Oh man. Excuse me. So one of the things you also do when you isolate yourself is you decide what's important. Now, I decided that folding clothes wasn't really important anymore. I used to carefully separate out all my underwear and roll together t-shirt, shorts, and socks and put it on the shelf. Well, now that we got a shitload of extra plastic grocery bags, now I just put them in the bag and set the bag on the shelf. Yeah, it's like, see, who who is bothered by that? That no one else is wearing my underwear, and it's a great time saver. It cut my time in half putting clothes up after they come out of the dryer. But now, if somebody was with me, would they be complaining, saying, "How dare you? What's wrong with you?" Well, I don't have nobody in my way. Like there was nobody here to tell me I'm eating junk when I had myself a nice sandwich. Was bacon, Swiss cheese, and tomato with blue cheese dressing instead of mayo. Not bad. Yeah, 5 pieces of bacon. But now here I am on the other side. Now I gotta eat all that fatty food. Because I got no reserves left. Yeah, if I go without eating for a while, I can tell right away. I get shaky, I lose focus, and of course it don't help that I'm taking a lot of my calories in liquid form, as in rum or malt liquor, and I do pay for it later. But damn, I'm glad I can still drink it all. But see, but would I be able to if I was married, or even living with somebody? Yeah, when you're isolated, you're responsible to and for yourself. And you can interact with people, but on your own terms. That's that's the good part. But it's like right now, I'm starting to wade through my mountains of paper, getting them organized so I can type or dictate them so they become computer files and I can throw the paper away. And it's amazing to stumble on some paper that I've written on years ago, and it was a captured moment of mental clarity. I mean, I did that a while back, digging through papers, and I found some. It's like the paper was 4 years old, and I could have written the same thing last week. It's like, wow. Every once in a while, I keep my head out of my ass for more than 10 seconds at a time and come up with a coherent thought. Oh, yes, yes, exactly, sir. There's a lot of exploitation going on, and it sure ain't us that's doing it. Yeah, yeah, my ex was like that. A younger genius? Okay. Yeah, well, like the old joke says, marriage is a life sentence with no possibility of parole. And it's unfortunate that it's more and more like that for men these days. All of our options are being taken away. Yeah, yeah, I gotta ask my wife. Oh, Raven, oh, I, oh, that's a burger and fries. Okay, but it's red. I think that's supposed to represent McDonald's. I don't do McDonald's. You. I mean, eating there, it's a toss up between the food itself or the packaging. I mean, the flavor is about the same. And in fact, you know, I know I've said this elsewhere, but yeah, I saw my future from way back over 40 years ago because I have a talent for precognition, and I couldn't really describe what I saw, but the impression I got was I was old, alone, and crazy, and that future at the time had zero appeal. That's why I ran away and stayed in a bad marriage for so long. But now, well, damn, son, I'm sprinting towards it. Yeah, being alone is it's liberating when you know you don't have to worry about anyone but yourself. You can oh, you can take risks. You can challenge yourself, and since you're the one setting your own standards, you don't have to worry about what other people think. Yeah, it's like I don't follow other people's standards. I set the standard, baby, and then I move beyond it. Yeah, being alone don't scare me. Dying again don't scare me. Fuck, you seen cancer didn't scare me. I broke my foot off in cancer's ass. And yes, being alone don't scare me at all, baby. It is it's exhilarating. Ah, oh man. Ah, And you know, you can do this and still keep your normal life. You just have to choose what you're going to interact with. So, you know, when I was at work, I was you know, I had one bud in my ear. So I not listening to the radio because hell, the radio never plays the song you want to hear when you want to hear it. No, you got to bring your own music or listen to an audiobook. And that's a form of isolation because you're keeping away from pressures of the outside. Now, me, I immerse myself in writing my fiction, and I have more than I can count events from my own life that I've written in, but to have it happen to a character. I mean, literally, man. As an example, when I was in Marine boot camp, the 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 battalion XO tipped up on me, and I was there sitting at the table, and I was writing, trying to stay awake. All of a sudden, he's right there in front of me, and I jump up, and of course, my canteen hooks the back of the chair, so the chair goes flying too. So I got written up for abandoning my post to write letters. It's like, wait a minute, I didn't abandon my post. I was right here, you know. But you're so scared, you don't you don't really understand what's happening. And that's another reason why you should embrace isolation. If you violate a law, whether on purpose or on accident, now you're part of the legal system, and they're gonna fuck with you as much as they can. They will get every dollar from you. I mean, as an example, my son has had DUI issues. So they have the little interlock they put on your car to make sure you're sober before you're driving. Well, I found out from one of the relatives, he's driving his truck and it just dies on him. Won't start again. So he calls the people that handle that interlock, and they say, "Oh, you're out of miles. You need to buy some more." I was like, "What? I'm limited in how far I can drive. I got to get to work, you know." Oh, they don't care. Now, getting that interlock in your car, that's several $100s out of your pocket. Then uh, being on probation, you're paying a monthly fee for that. You're paying for your own P test if they make you take one. And counseling, oh yeah, they'll charge you for that too. They'll get every penny out of you as long as you're stuck in the system. But it's like the man said, you can't get divorce rates if you don't get married. And remember, ain't nothing good happening on the streets at 2 in the morning. So why is your narrow ass out there? Ralphie lad, greetings, sir. Yeah, don't let people bullshit you and tell you you're wanting to be isolated is an act of perversion. It is not. I mean, now I'm not in mom's basement And no, well, sure, I do Xbox Cheetos and porn, but not all the time. Yeah, I got lots of things on my plate, man. Oh, Ralphie, I'm doing fantastic. In case you didn't hear, in July, I was declared cancer free by my surgeon. So I'm really enjoying the hell out of my second life now, and my eating patterns are practically back to normal. So where was I? Yes, deliberately isolating yourself is liberating because now you don't have to worry about the expectations of anyone else. Oh, excuse me. That's the beauty of it, man. Yeah, as long as you're happy with the man you see in the mirror, who cares whether you're here or there? Yeah, I mean, even in my younger days, hell, there could be a party going on right in my house, and when I felt it was time to go to bed, whoop, I'm just gone. Where where'd he go? Yeah, that's right. Oh, hang on. There's one. There's two. Okay, that's not my dog's barking. We're good. Yeah, it is. It is only in isolation that you can discover your own value, your real value as a man, especially when you have to fend for yourself. I've been like that a long time, having to do stuff on my own because there was no one around to help. Oh, quite true, BGT. We because they're jealous. That's what it is. They're jealous of the freedom we have that comes with isolation and removing yourself from useless entanglements. And it's pretty easy to stay away from women when they say straight up that they don't have no respect for us. Well, that's okay, bitch. I got no trust for you neither. You can get that disease fucking axe wound the fuck out of here. Yeah, I mean, sex is the only weapon you got, but don't work on me, baby. And you're probably saying, well, wait a minute, you're harping along here about the value of being alone, but you got a waifu. You're not alone. Well, yeah, I'm not now. But like I said, in the Malaya Chronicles, I lay it all out. Knowing that I'm vulnerable to some woman love bombing me, and the next thing you know, I'm infatuated and I'm doing stupid shit, which I did not too long ago. Yeah, so that is why that is why I did what I did. Yeah, and now I'm at right. I'm not going to be subservient to any woman, not anymore. Now, in a work setting, if that's the supervisor or the manager, that's a different deal. But no, 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 no woman is going to manipulate me ever again. It's like, nope, ain't happening. mean, what do you really offer besides used, beat up roast beef and grief? Really? I mean, yeah, feminism has done a great job of removing you women from all the cultural expectations while still demanding us men that remain traditional and do all the things we used to. Why? Why do we have to do that? But when uh, let's say what's out there now is pretty much valueless. Yeah, exactly, BGT. That women thrive on drama and chaos, and if there isn't any, well, for some reason they will create it. That's why it's just easier for me to be alone. Just no. Mm-mm. All right, Ralphie lad. It was a pleasure seeing you here, sir. Ugh. Ugh. Oh man. Yeah. Now, and not only excuse me. Not only did I physically isolate myself, I also removed myself from television. I grew up uh, with the TV on all the time, and when we got divorced, the ex took the good TV. Now this was right around the time when the signals went digital and you had to buy converter boxes, maybe a year or two afterwards. Well, they started building them in to the TV, and I looked around. I could not find one of those boxes for nothing. So I pretty much had to give up watching TV cold turkey. And that's what I did, man. I dug through my movie collection and I found some DVDs. I call them watch anytime movies. You know, they're ones that you've seen so much. Hell, you could be blindfolded and still recite all the dialogue. And you know when the good car chases and explosions are. So you stop what you're doing, you kick it for a minute and watch. You know, kick back and watch Vin Diesel drive off the cliff and land on all four tires and drive away. All right, that's a good scene. Now I can get back to work. So let's see, what were they? Man of Steel was one. Uh, let's see. Oh, Damnation Alley, but was another good one. That so literally, man. You know, I would have noise on, but it was something familiar, and I could pay attention to it or not, as as I felt like it. And now I got lots of good Red Pill Brothers to listen to when I'm at work, or a lot of times I'll listen to my own content, because who can you trust more than yourself? And I recently went on someone's channel. He's a friend of Past the $40. I can't remember his name. It's a convoluted African name that I can't remember, and I don't want to even mangle it by trying to guess at the pronunciation. He is the first content provider who's actually told me he listened to his own stuff. Yeah, man. I mean, more than once, I've hit a dip and gotten depressed or out of sorts, and that's when I know I need a motivational speech. So I actually listen to my own stuff, and because it is distilled wisdom. I mean, I have spent many an hour just sitting writing in cursive a script for one of my videos, either in the quiet or some nice music in the background. Like when I'm in a really good creative writing mood, I play Pink Floyd Animals. And I mean, I'll get so in the zone that I will not hear the music. And then when I come back, the music's not jarring, you know, and it isn't a distraction. It flows very well. But see, that's something you won't even know about if you haven't taken the time to isolate yourself and calm your mind. Oh, that's right, sir. Yeah, Andy and Red, they both had focus and purpose. And you gotta admit, damn, the prison environment, that's a rough place to learn lessons. Greetings, Jim. Oh yeah. Yeah, you know, you usually ask people what Pink Floyd album they like, and it's always, oh, Wish You Were Here or Dark Side of the Moon. Like, come on now. Those aren't the only two albums they made. Oh, or The Wall, which I didn't enjoy. It was kind of inconsistent. But yeah, try listening to some of their early stuff, like uh, Metal, no, or Muddle, something like that. It's the one that has Echoes with the whale song and Piper at the Gates of Dawn. That's either their first or second album. Oh, very, very good. But what can I say, man? Isolation is not for everybody. A lot of people can't handle it. And a lot of people are afraid to do that because they don't know what's in their head that's going to bubble to the surface. But you have to. You, you got to confront those inner demons. You got to confront those situations that trigger you. And when you're isolated, you have time to think about this stuff and plan a response. Yeah, you don't have to go into any situation blind. Not when you've taken the time to analyze it. And and if you know your limitations and your weaknesses, you can plan that to either lessen that vulnerability till it goes away or to keep it hidden so people can't take advantage of you. And don't let people tell you that isolation is an act of insanity. No, no, it is an act that will bring you to sanity. Yes, once you're away from estrogen fueled emotional extortion and the distorted social media, you have time to pull your own head out of your ass, take a deep breath, wipe the shit stains off your collar, and and get something done. All righty. I made it to an hour. Yay. Well, folks, thank you so much for showing up. My goodness, we got 8 in the box here. I mean, now not that ain't a lot compared to some people, but for me, I'm happy as hell y'all showed up. So I am going to do some outro music here. And remember, until the next time, I still say, when one teaches, two learn.
With snake eyes, you cross me, you legalize your hot leather, you cold steel, you make a move, I'll make you feel human targets in my eyes. I've got you in my sights, and by the road you will hang. It's your neck, let's ride, Jane. 'Cause I'm a wanted man. 'Cause I'm a wanted man. Gunfighter, you think twice. Are you fast? You hit my advice. I drink whiskey, you say goodnight. I put an end to this good fight. You're a human target in my eyes. I've got you in my sights. And by the road, you will hang. Your neck from this rat days. It's really what you want. Oh, wanted man. Oh, wanted man. Wanted man. Wanted man. Yes, I am. 'Cause I'm a wanted man. Wanted man. stripes. We lie on the fireside. No escape. Run away. You and I on the fireside. I'm making it quiet. I'm talking guys. I can't stay on the wild side. Wild side. Wild side.
All righty now. Now, before I go away, let me give a few shout outs here. Barely Good Tennis, Satan, Raven, Lord Sauce, come on, I know there's a couple more here. Ralphie Lad, and my bona fide brother, Rebel Against Defeat, Jim McIntosh. Thank all y'all so much for stopping by. And I hope I've given you a little something to think about today. And I'm going to go away now, but remember, I still say the best years of your life haven't happened yet. Peace out.